Howard. That's going to be quite the ferry ride getting to San Juan Island for that. So we better warn Washington State ferries ahead of time. I'll be there. We've got a special speaker next. Passionate, dedicated, young activist. This is what our future is. She is 10 years old and has been an activist, believe it or not, for 7 of those years. Please welcome Kierra.
I'm Kierra and I'm 10 years old. I'm here to speak out against having cetaceans in captivity. No water, no life, no blue, no green, by Sylvia Earle. I am against dolphinariums and swim with dolphin programs. Most dolphins in dolphinariums come from a cove in Taiji, Japan. About 20,000 dolphins are slaughtered in Taiji each season from September through March. The dolphins that are not slaughtered are sold and transferred to dolphinariums all around the world. They are sold ranging from $32,000 to $250,000 US dollars. The killing process is very cruel. The mother dolphins have to stay there while watching their babies drown or get slaughtered. They know and understand what is happening. They feel pain and suffer like we do. The fishermen are so greedy they are willing to slaughter these intelligent and aware animals. A dolphin's smile is the greatest deception. It creates the illusion that they are always happy, by Rick O'Berry. I am also against orcas in captivity in the breeding programs. On August 8, 1970, the southern resident killer whale population, which originally had about 200 orcas, was driven into Penn Cove, Whidbey Island, in Washington State with speedboats and bombs. This was after the males and non-nursing females had broken off from the nursing mothers and their babies as a decoy. Unfortunately, the fishermen had airplanes and saw what was happening. 5 whales, including 4 baby whales, died in Penn Cove that day. 7 juvenile orcas were taken to go to aquariums. 6 of them died within 5 years. The remaining orca lives at Miami Seaquarium. Her name is Tokite. She is also known as Lolita. She has been doing shows for almost 46 years. Her mom, Ocean Sun, is still alive today. The southern resident population is now about 80 due to the captivity industry, the history of shooting orcas for eating salmon, and environmental factors. We have been far too aggressive about extracting ocean wildlife, not appreciating that there are limits and even points of no return, by Sylvia Earle. When an orca is in captivity, at night they are put into small tanks about half or less of the size of their performance tank. Sometimes orcas will attack each other because of stress. One training method is having a trained orca with a not trained orca. If one of them makes a mistake, then both are punished, which leads to aggression between the orcas. Another training method is starving the orcas until they do a trick correctly. In February 1968, an orca was captured in Puget Sound. His name was Hugo. When he was captured, he was in his early teens. They put him in a small manatee tank at Miami Seaquarium. He and Lolita were from the same family and called desperately to each other from their different tanks. Eventually, he was moved to the same tank. Hugo refused to do some of the performances and would act aggressively. He was so stressed out, he would bash his head into the wall repeatedly until March 1980, when he died of brain aneurysm. His body was dumped into the Dade Country landfill. Whales, as a rule, do not hit things with their echolocation. They are endowed with exceptionally sensitive equipment for avoiding collisions, by Alexandra Morton. In November of 1983, an orca was captured near Iceland. He was only 2 years old, measuring about 13 feet long. His name is Tilikum. After spending a year in a concrete holding tank, he was transferred to Sealand in British Columbia, Canada. The two female orcas who were already there were aggressive with him. In 1992, he was transferred to SeaWorld in Orlando, Florida, where he lives today. His story is told in the documentary Blackfish. He has killed 3 people, which is not a normal behavior for an orca. This kind of aggression towards people is not seen in the wild. Tilikum has been used for entertainment and breeding. This is not natural for an orca, and this is not how an orca should live. In the wild, orcas and dolphins socialize, hunt, play, and swim up to 100 nautical miles every day. In tanks, they cannot play because they are constantly being trained or moved. They cannot swim very far because they are stuck in tiny tanks. They get angry and depressed. They are also very sensitive to sound, and all they hear in captivity is the recycling of water, loudspeakers, and people clapping and cheering. These sounds are not natural and would be a lot of disruption to an orca. The sight of a pair of orcas swimming in a tank only a few body lengths across looked as normal as 2 people living in a bathtub, by Alexandra Morgan. Alexandra was referring to Orky and Corky, who she studied at Marineland in California, prior to studying the northern resident orca population. During her studies with orcas, she made many discoveries, including that they respond to their families' calls and that they have the ability to communicate in ways we still don't fully understand. In a world where so much that is wild and free has been lost to us, we must leave these beautiful animals free to swim as they will and must. They do us no harm and wish us none, and we should let them alone. By Rick O'Barry. Orcas and dolphins are not here for our entertainment. They are here to enjoy their own lives. They are not meant to live in concrete tanks. They are meant to live their lives free in the wild.